So recently Canada just got done playing with Sweden in the World Junior Championships. For all you guys who didn't know, this was the round robin and this was the third game Canada would play. You know, obviously coming off a 5-2 victory to Finland as well as a 10-0, and yeah, you heard me right, a 10-0 win against Latvia. Hopes were pretty high heading into this game. You know, Sweden was no slouch heading into this game, having two convincing victories. One against Latvia being 6-0, as well as a 5-0 win against Germany. And you know, Sweden always typically has a good team, and we always see great players coming out of Sweden. Early on in the game here, Canada would get this really good scoring opportunity by Carson Raycroft. He would come in on a breakaway, but wouldn't be able to figure out the Swedish netminder. You know, getting the pads down solid square to the ice and not leaving any room 5-hole. And only a couple minutes later, Sweden would get literally a golden opportunity, but Russo would make the save of the tournament, arguably so far. You know, sliding across the net and just getting literally a skate on the puck. You know, his situational awareness to read this play, you know, that's obviously being a huge part of a goalie, is huge and just speaks to how talented this kid really is. You know, a save like this is definitely huge later on in the period, especially when the other team has a power play. Also, even Henrik Lundqvist made a comment about this save. And at the end of the day, it was one of the main talks after this game. A lot of people saying, you know, Russo basically established himself as the main Canadian starter after this save, and more or less how he's been playing so far in the tournament overall. However, it was early in the second when Sweden would be able to figure him out with this walk-in shot over here, which would essentially beat him blocker side as he was cutting across the net. And honestly, if you take a look at it from this angle, he virtually had no visibility of the puck. I mean, I'm not really sure how you want him to save this, especially if you're the defenseman over here. I mean, he was completely screened for an otherwise completely savable shot, and this would ultimately give Sweden the go-ahead goal and the 1-0 lead. Eventually, Russo would stand on his head, making save after save and keeping Canada in this game. I mean, take a look at this glove save here, and then on this other opportunity, I mean, look how much time and space Sweden had, and he just stayed square to the puck and got the pad down to make this great save. However, even after a save like that, Canada would still fail to get the puck out. I mean, you could see here, Sweden barely kept the puck in. You know, you got to keep pressuring them, especially after a save like that. And then they would just walk in here off a basic shot. The puck would just, you know, flutter off in the crease, and allowing an easy tap in for Sweden. Eventually, literally a few seconds later, Matt Savoy would poke the puck off the Swedish defenseman over here, carrying the puck in on a breakaway. However, he would just get poked by the Swedish goalie, and you know, there wasn't much hope for Team Canada heading into the third period. Once again, you would see save after save from Rousseau, you know, getting square to the puck here on this semi-breakaway. But ultimately, Canada would just not be able to put the puck in the net in this game. And you know, finally towards the dying minutes here of the game, Team Canada would get this ridiculous too many men penalty. I mean, I don't know how you let this happen in a game. It was definitely a, you know, flaw of the whole team, you know, coaches, players. I'm not really sure what happened here. It looked like Rousseau was kind of confused and wasn't given proper instructions on what to do. But this is certainly something you can't let happen, especially if you want to win gold like Team Canada. I mean, now in the Group A division, you have Canada sitting in a convincing second place, you know, right below Sweden, who has 3 games played and 3 clean victories, who also has not let in a goal in this whole tournament. I mean, and what can you really take away from this game? I mean, obviously, offensively, you know, Canada had some chances, but, you know, ultimately it was Sweden that felt like they were in control of this game. I mean, another major takeaway from this game is Rousseau. He was just phenomenal in net. And, you know, a lot of people, like I mentioned earlier, are talking about how he should be the starter for Team Canada, even though it's obviously a little bit early, but he's proved that he could be the #1 guy. Of course, before the playoff rounds, we still have a game between Team Canada and Germany. And that will really be the last test of this team before we see how they do in the playoffs. And you know, that will be it for the round robin. Sitting in the other division over here, it's actually Slovakia that's 3 games in 0. You know, followed by the United States in second place. And honestly, if Team Canada really wants to have a shot of going far in these World Juniors, you know, they obviously are solid goaltending wise, but they definitely need to up the ante. you know, offensively, and it's pretty crazy because obviously they scored 10 goals their previous game, but all of that doesn't matter if you can't generate goal scoring opportunities against the top teams. Now obviously they had some chances against Sweden, but they simply were not good enough. And this last game in the round robin is actually against Germany, and if you take a look back here at the standings, you know, Germany's literally right behind Canada, so if they beat Canada, they will be tied in points, assuming it's in regulation. And if these two teams are tied in points and Germany beat them when they played, I'm pretty sure that will be more favorable to Germany in the standings, and especially heading into the elimination rounds. But anyways, I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like down below and subscribe. What do you think of this Canada team? There was a lot of hype after the first two games, but you know, there's sort of been a roadblock here. Let me know what you guys think down below, and as always, thanks.